See if you could do something about that. Your camera's on, by the way.
Everybody could see me, right?
All right, you can begin.
Hi, good afternoon, class. Good afternoon, class. Everybody could hear me?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi, I am Melinda de Beekwoods, and today you'll be learning understanding yourself, which will then make you a better leader. Right? During this class, you will learn about strengths and weaknesses, understanding your esteem, confidence, value, belief, ethics, and character, and various learning approaches. This lesson for you to understand yourself is for you to understand yourself. So I'm asking everybody, you all hearing me properly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this lesson is for you to understand yourself. So I'm asking everybody to be as honest as possible when doing certain exercises. Okay? While we go through this topic, it is important for you all to remember no one can teach you about yourself except you. So, someone mic on? Hello? Is somebody mic on?
No, I muted it off. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Right. So we're talking about strengths and weaknesses. Let us take this time to read this famous quote by Kevin Panica, and it reads, "It is of great importance to recognize one's strength and weakness because only then can one realize one's capability and limitation. Recognizing capacity allows leaders to commit themselves to such a way as to utilize their capability. Recognizing limitation allows humility and acknowledgement that leaders cannot succeed at everything." By this show of hands, can I see how much of you all agree with this? Right. Strengths are what you're good at, and they are normally positive traits. For our first exercise, I want to take 2 minutes and list 2 strengths from the list. You have it, well, in the chat, I want you all to list 2 strengths from the list on the screen. Solange, flexible and creative. Alyssa, collaborative and a team player. Seeing Kelly, empathetic and honest. Team player. Marika. Caitlin, collaborative and patience. Team players. See, majority of you all are team players. Okay. flexible and dedicated. Okay, so now we know our strengths. Let us now talk about the uncomfortable part, the weaknesses. Because no good leader, not all leaders just have strengths. Weaknesses are things that we struggle with, and it's normally things that people will avoid us because of. Now, we do not want to embarrass anybody, so I would not ask anybody to write their weaknesses in the chat. So I created a list of some of the weaknesses you all may have. But if you all want to, you all can write down some of your weaknesses in the chat, right? Because I am teaching this class, I will list some of my weaknesses, right? I am a perfectionist. I lack patience, right? I really lack patience, and this is a weakness I am ashamed of because I have a child. I also find it difficult to ask for help. Solange lack delegating. I'm not great at team player. I don't think everybody inside it course that good at being a good team player, especially when it comes to a group worker. Okay, so here are the 3 okay-ish leaders, right? What I want you all to do now by show of hands, how many of you believe that Kate Rowley? How many of you believe that Kate Rowley, our current Prime Minister, is a good leader? One person I've seen so far. Solange. Guess it's you, Alona. Marie, you believe Kate Rowley is also a good leader? All right, so how much of you all believe the current Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, is a good leader? She really is a good leader. Don't be afraid to put up your hands. This is a class we had to participate. Right? Or you all to be honest with these exercises. And Obama. How much of you all believe Obama is a good leader? Wow. Lots of you all like Obama. Yes, he as well. He was a good leader. And I believe he did a lot to help Americans. All right, so now that you all chose your leaders, I want you all to, in the chat, name some strengths of Rowley, Kate Rowley. Some of Rowley's strengths.
Weaknesses.
I don't do politics. You don't have to do politics, just the person himself. Him, personally, some of his strengths. It don't have to be about politics, right? From seeing how he communicates with people, right? You will find Rowley Kermas. I don't think so, but okay. I believe Rowley is good at problem solving. He's good at delegation, right? Those are 2 strengths I believe Kate Rowley has. What about his weaknesses? What about Kate Rowley weaknesses, guys? He's down to earth when talking to Marie. So you spoke to Keith Rowley already? I never got the chance to speak to Keith Rowley. He's really come to Tobago. He has only come over here to play golf. Emotional? That's his weakness, Anne-Marie? That's a weakness? Stubborn? I'll say he lacked empathy when making certain decisions. Yes. Okay. Look at Mia now. What are some of Mia's strengths? Mia Motley, what are some of her strengths? If you all want, you all could turn on your mic and say your answers as well, if you all choose to. To me, Mia Motley, she's good at, she has communication skills. She's good when it comes to accountability. Based on her decision, she's good when it comes to accountability. Right, her social skills also are good. And Mia's weaknesses, right? Can some of you all tell me any of Mia Motley's weaknesses? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Mia Motley's weaknesses. I know she don't really have much, but the only one I could actually think about was she could be sometimes absent-minded, and this could probably be due to the amount of work or tasks she has as a prime minister. Sometimes certain things may slip her mind. That's the only weaknesses I assume she probably would have. So we're not talking we as a person, right? As a person, not really talking about her as a leader, right? As a person on a whole. Let's move on to Obama. What are some of Obama's strengths and weaknesses? Class? Yes. Confident, yes. He is self-aware. His communication skills as well is really good. He's good at decision making. What are some of his weaknesses? Obama's weaknesses. Too nice. His weaknesses are very too nice. I would say to a point, he could be like a controlling leader, right? A command and controlling leader. You know, he just give a command and control everything around him. All of his employees, you know, what he say, you know, this is the way forward, you know, his really highway mentality. Okay, so now based on their strengths and weaknesses, did that affect who you believe to be a good leader? Guys, the leaders you chose in the beginning, after seeing all of their strengths and weaknesses, did it change your belief in who is a good leader? Did your choice of leader have little or no weaknesses? Class? No, everybody has their own fault. Yes, Alyssa, that is true, sir. Right, so how to become a better leader? As Costard student, many of us do not like group work. Am I lying? Am I lying, class?
No.
No. It's the truth. But in order to be a good leader, we need to acknowledge these weaknesses and work on it. So after today, we should be looking forward to all our group assignments, right? Right, class?
Right.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
Okay, so let us move on to esteem and confidence. Now that we know we may have weaknesses that we have to work on, this might affect our self-esteem and confidence. But in order to be a good leader, you must believe in yourself. This was also echoed by Martin Luther King Jr. It reads, John W. Gardner tells a story of sitting beside Martin Luther King Jr. at a seminar on education. The first presentation was a speech entitled, First, Teach Them to Read. After observing this title, King whispered to Gardner, First, teach them to believe in themselves. Now I ask you, class, do you believe in yourself? Class, do you believe in yourself? Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Thank you for being honest, because not all the time you will believe in yourself. How you think and feel about yourself is the energy that fuels your motivation. Self-awareness will lead to having an accurate self-concept. High self-esteem is a result of valuing your self-concept, while low self-esteem may mean you accept something better or different than you feel. Self-esteem is enhanced if you can identify your strengths and weaknesses and know that you are growing and progressing in the areas you want to improve. Honoring your strengths and addressing your weaknesses are essential first step towards higher self-esteem. Self-confidence is the ability to know that you can rely on your strengths, competency, and skills in many contexts in which you find yourself. A lack of self-confidence comes in many shapes and forms, and learning how to build confidence is an ongoing project for most of us. We are all a work in progress. Not everyone is born with an inbuilt sense of self-confidence. Sometimes it can be hard to develop confidence, either because of personal experience have caused you to lose confidence, or because you suffer from low self-esteem. How to improve your self-confidence? Perceiving things differently is called cognitive reframing, which is a different way of thinking. Cognitive reframing focuses on changing distorted or dysfunctional thoughts in order to change negative emotion. Right? So I'm going to tell you all a personal story on how I had to use this strategy. So as you all know, as I stated, first day of class, I am a final year mass communication student. And as a final year mass communication student, I'm required to do a PR internship or a media internship. Well, this time around, I did a media internship. Recently finished my media internship, a matter of fact. This internship entails me actually being a reporter. So I have to go out, interview personnel, I have to write story, I have to voice for the newscast. All of my stories within the internship was used for the newscast, by the way. So within the first week of my internship, my supervisor decided to give me a solo assignment. This assignment was for the World Chocolate Day. I think it was on the 13th of October. I was required to go to this event in THTI and interview the chocolatier and come back, write the story and voice it. So I had to do everything. This was my first week. I have prior knowledge of interviewing due to the previous course I would have taken, voice and presentation. But you know, doing a course and actually being on field is two different things. So I was, to tell you all the truth, I did not believe I could have done it. I lacked so much of confidence in myself, even with the prior knowledge. So I did, just like what every person would do, I tried to back out of it. So I called up my advisor and I told her what they're asking me to do. And she was like, so what is the problem, Melinda? What's the problem? Is it that you don't have transportation to go up there? Is it lack of confidence? Well, she hit the nail on the head. I tried to find some way to get out of this assignment. So with seeing that I lacked the confidence, my advisor told me, you know, you are prepared for this, you could do this. And so on. So after I got the phone, to take that, you know, that little pep talk would have me going, yes, I could do this. No, it didn't. It even made me feel even more nervous and like even more confidence, because not only now my supervisor is dependent on me, now my advisor now is dependent on me. So the pressure was on for me. Now, I really had was to sit down and have a discussion with myself mentally. I sat down, I thought about it, and all of the negative thoughts in my head of all the ways this could go wrong for me, I have to now reframe it into positive thoughts. So I was to change around everything. I have to like, okay, you could do it. Picture me doing the interview, that come out good. Picture me writing the story, picture me voicing the story. Right? I'll turn everything negative within my head into positive to change that feeling I had. So that is what I did. And on that day, I did the interview and I did write the story. And this is the ending result of my first solo assignment.
Day is celebrated every September 13th and is steeped in history, tradition, and of course, lots of chocolate. The Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute hosted a special exhibition in honor of World Chocolate Day, and Melinda Woods tells us more.
International National Chocolate Day holds significant meaning as it serves as a delightful reminder of the universal love and appreciation for chocolate. To mark the occasion, the Tobago Hospitality Tourism Institute allows students of Tobago High School a front row seat as they learn from chocolate delight chocolatier Jean-Claude Petit. With over 10 years of experience in the chocolate industry, he demonstrated and explained the process used in creating several types of their local chocolates. A few of those were Benny Ball, caramel, and pina colada. Petit boasted that the uniqueness of Tobago's chocolate comes from the flavor because of the quality of the soil and the natural environment.
Because of the soil in Tobago, that volcanic soil, and because Tobago has a milder temperature than Trinidad does. So all up on the northeast side, at night, it gets down into the 60s and the 70s in the valleys, and the cocoa and coffee love that.
He advised young people who are interested in the chocolate industry that they could start from home.
It's wide open. This is just a few of the products that you can make. And like me, you can start doing things at home. Okay? It is not a product that I have the machinery because I make it on a commercial scale. You do not have the machinery. You can melt the chocolate in your microwave. You can temper the chocolate by hand. You can make the soaps by hand at home. You can do a lot of the things using cocoa at home.
While there may be a few people in the world who do not like chocolate, for most of the world, chocolate is considered to be a delicious treat. Melinda de Beekwood, Tobago Update Television News.
Wow, that was great. That was great.
And that I was so nervous. You all could have heard the nervousness in my voice. That was the first time I actually did this, and it was broadcasted on Tobago Updates News. So, and it was a good experience actually. And after I came out feeling so proud of myself, I was so proud of myself. I sent this clip to everybody. So yeah, so that is cognitive reframing, and that's the power of it. That's what it could do, right? When you change all your negative thoughts into positive ones. Right? Many people use positive affirmation to enhance their self-esteem. Although these will not make up for lack of skills or ability, this can help you develop your confidence. When talking about leadership and esteem and confidence, a low self-esteem leader would often take credit for other people's work, while a high self-esteem and confident leader is often referred to as a servant leader, someone who puts the organization first and is the most committed to its team. This type of leadership is concerned about accomplishing team goals and success and not personal gains. So now we'll move on to values and belief. This statement is a very powerful statement by Malcolm X. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. What do you think he meant by this statement, or what is he referring to? Anybody? Class, are you all sleeping on me? Anybody
Hi.
could answer. Anybody could answer. What do you think he's talking about?
Yes, I think he is really driving home the importance of having a value system, a code, a moral compass. I believe something to give you direction through life.
Yes, exactly. What is value or a belief, and how does it affect a leader? Value refers to a deeply held belief and principle that guides individuals in their thoughts, action, and decision making. Your value should be something of great importance to you. Example, you may value your loyalty, respect, honesty. You should know each of us have preferences in how we construct our value system. You may prefer to be logical and scientific, or you may be emotional. You may prefer to be concrete, or you may just come to know what is important by using your intuition. Knowing that you have a preference in how you construct your value system should help you understand yourself and others better. Belief, on the other hand, can be defined as things that you believe to be true, regardless of the evidence. They are the assumption we make about the world. We often make these assumptions based on what we see, hear, read, and experience growing up. Many of our beliefs are rooted in our religion or cultural background. One of my personal beliefs is you will always reap what you sow. You get what you put in. This is a personal belief of mine. Whether it be with school, work, or your personal relationship with others. Now I want you guys to unmute your mic and tell me some of your beliefs. Come on, guys, this is time for you all to unmute the mics. I want to hear some of your personal beliefs.
Hi.
Hi.
Olivia here. One of my personal beliefs that I guess I modified lately. Some people say it's clean, other people. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. One of my personal beliefs is the importance of just having anything you want to do, you have to be consistent. Like that's the only way success will come. Consistency and the importance of having habits. Like I've started to really see the importance of habits and routines to be able to give you the results that you're looking for. That's just one of my personal.
Thank you, Alicia. Anybody else? Class? Anybody else want to share your personal belief? If you don't want to speak, you can write it in the chat.
Anything in life can be achieved with hard work.
Sure. Anybody else? Treat others the way you would want to be treated. Yes, Alyssa, that is true. Okay, beliefs shape values which influence thoughts and action. If you can articulate your value, then you are likely aware of the principles and beliefs that serve as your guide. At its simplest, ethics is a system of moral principles. They affect how people make decisions and lead their life. A person with character promotes ethical decision making and expects ethical behavior from others. So we're going to do this exercise. Guys, are you still with me? This exercise was supposed to be a voting system exercise anonymously, but because this version of team doesn't have to poll, or my version of team doesn't have to poll, you'll have to be open with it. Okay? So for this exercise, you're all gonna raise your hands. Okay? Okay, class?
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So we are going to do this exercise will really help you understand your ethical principle. Right? On the left, we have a 48-year-old male who has pledged guilty to kidnapping of girls aged 12. He also raped them and he murdered 36 young girls. In this exercise, we, the class, now are going to vote on whether he should live out his sentence in jail or be put to a death sentence on the electrocutional chain. Right? Like I said, it was supposed to be anonymous, but it's not anonymous anymore. Okay? So the two options are, so are you the first option, right? By show of hands, are you gonna let this man who raped and killed young girls live out his sentence in jail? By show of hands. Come on, guys. Everybody have to vote. Alyssa. Zaria. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not gonna ask you all why you choose what you chose, so you all could raise your hands. I'm not gonna ask why you choose what you chose. You alone know the reason why you made that decision. So you all please, that's it. Only 4 of you are gonna let this man live out his sentence in jail. Okay, and the next option, how much of you all gonna put this man to death on the electrocutional chair? Come on, guys. And there's a particular reason why we choose what we chose, right? Some of you are the ones that chose to let him live his life in prison, although his crime was so bad, right? You all probably stand by the ethical principle that killing is wrong, right? No matter the crime, killing is wrong, right? And we the ones that chose put him to death, put him to the electrocutional chair, right? Or ethical principle may stand by an eye for eye, a life for life. You know, he deserves to die because he took lives. Am I right, class, or am I wrong? I have another exercise for you all, right? It's pertaining to the same case, right? On the right, now we have one of his victims. She is 13, and she is pregnant with her rapist child. How much of you all would advise her to keep this baby? By the show of hands, guys.
You can repeat it.
Okay, so on the right, this is another case, right? Pertaining to the same case, it's another case. This on the right is the victim. She's one of his victim, the rapist victim. And she is now pregnant by his child, right? How much of you guys would advise her? She doesn't know what to do. She's only 13. How much of you guys would advise her to keep this child? Come on, guys, we're dealing with ethics and character here. 2, Denisha and Marique. Just 2? And how much of you all will tell her to abort it? Please, class, I need the whole class to participate in these exercises. All right, this lesson is for you. 5, to abort it, you all will tell her to abort it. I would tell her to abort it as well. That's 6. Nicholas, Solange, Kelly, Alexia. Anybody else? Okay. So we're now going to move on to character. Whether framed as integrity, authenticity, or credibility, the very core of your character is central to sincerely linking with others in the spirit of community to work towards change. A person of character promotes ethical decision-making and expects ethical behavior from others. Right? So here is another exercise. By some strange miracle, you all are allowed to be a part of your eulogy service. Right? I want you all to put in the chat, what are 2 things you believe your friends, family, work colleagues, anybody close to you would say about you? So this is an exercise based on character, right? You're allowed to be in your own eulogy service, right? What do you believe the ones that are close to you would say about you? What they will say about your character, who you were. Class, so you're gonna write in the chat some of the characters you believe your family, friends, work colleagues, anybody who knew you or know you over a period of time will say about you at your eulogy. Yes, I know it's a kind of twisted, but this is the exercise. Confidence and caring. Come on, class. What are some of your characters people know you by? When people talk about you, what do they say? Let's just say confident and caring. Moody. Olivia, she's moody. Good listener. Anybody else? If I was at my eulogy service, right, I would expect people to say I was a loyal person. Right? I'm brutally honest. Right? Straight talker. If it blue, I'm telling you, it blue. You just list 2. You don't have to list all, just list 2 or 1. One that you know for a fact or we expect to hear because you know that is you. You don't have to list a lot, just list the major 1 or the major 2. Okay, class. A person of character is trustworthy, is honest, has integrity, promises, is loyal, treats people with respect, is courteous, non-violent, non-prejudiced, accepting, is responsible, is accountable, pursues excellence, shows self-restraint, is fair, just, equitable, open, reasonable, unbiased, is caring, kind, passionate, empathetic, unselfish, is a good citizen, is law-abiding, does his or her share, perform community service, protects the environment. Those are all lists of a person of good character. Best person you ever met in life. Yes, Elijah. The Jozan Institute of Ethics proposed 6 pillars of characters that are enduring and indispensable to ethical leadership practices. These pillars are trustworthiness, respect, responsibilities, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Every leader has his or her own value, belief, ethics, and character. And no matter if you were for or against them, just like Hitler, Dr. King, and Jesus, a good leader must not change their value, belief, ethics, and character, even if the rest of the world didn't agree with them. Move on to learning approaches. Myers-Briggs type indicator of the MBTI was developed by Catherine Briggs and is based on the typological theory of Carl Jung, who proposed that there are 4 essential psychological functions by which we see this world. In the MBTI theory, you combine your preference to arrive at your personality type. So I'm gonna put up the characteristic. I'm going to read out the characteristic of a few of the learning types, and I want the class to indicate with the show of hands if it describes you, right? And so I want you to pay particular attention to these hands, right? This will be useful for future group assignments. Right, so the first characteristic, you are likely to enjoy group learning tasks and projects. Learn readily from group discussion and think aloud as you respond to questions and comments in group. You value experience and often leap into academic tasks with little planning. You prefer trial and error process because it allows you to think while you are active. So you all hear the characteristic, okay? All right, so if that describes you, you're extroverted. Okay? So Zaria, and Marie Cayola extroverted. The next one, you listen keenly and find you carry on great dialogue in your head. You might prefer to keep a journal, and you prefer to do well with written assignment when this is time to reflect. When there's time to reflect. When something important comes up, you prefer to think about it first and not jump to hasty conclusion. Is this anyone? Olivia, this you? Anybody else? Selena?
Yes, that's me, 13.
Olivia and Selena? Okay, you're introverts. Okay, next one. You like the big picture and do not retain the small details well. You may be quick to jump to conclusion with little information. You like possibility thinking, and you cast a wide net to gather a great deal of information from diverse sources. Is this anyone? You like the big picture and do not retain the small details. You may be quick to jump to conclusion with little information. You like possibility thinking, and you cast a wide net to gather a great deal of information from diverse sources. Right? This is me. Right? Olivia, is you too? Come on,
I think some things apply to me because I like a lot of information to make decisions. So I need a lot of information to make decisions.
This is me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of it is me.
Come on, guys. Is this any one of your learning approaches? Okay. So you're intuitive learner. Olivia, we are intuitive learners.
Yes.
Right. Next one, you like detail and facts and might prefer inductive thinking, right? And being inductive means you like to build up to the big picture or conclusion by assembling all the parts and involving your conclusion, right? You value the history and background of an issue to establish the context to learn about. Is this anyone? Olivia, is you too?
I think so. I like details. I think I have a little bit of each. Let's say that.
Yeah, you're seeing yourself in a
Yeah.
Anybody else? Alyssa, this is you. Right, let me read it over. You like detail and facts and might prefer inductive thinking. Right, inductive thinking means you like to build up to the big picture or conclusion by assembling all the parts and evolving your conclusion. You value the history and background of an issue to establish a context to learn about it. Anybody? Apart from Alyssa and Olivia? Okay. So these people are sensing learners. A good leader knows how teams operate and how to assemble teams based on their learning style. For example, the sensing or intuitive preference may relate to a preference for either deductive or inductive way of thinking. Being inductive means you like to see the big picture and know what the final outcome is likely to be, or what the whole is, and then you are comfortable looking at the parts and pieces. For example, you like to see the forest before you examine all the trees. While, like I mentioned before, inductive means you like to build up to the big picture or conclusion by assembling all the parts and evolving your conclusion. You prefer to see each tree before you stand back and see the forest. So putting these two learners together is not really a good idea. These clash of learning style can lead to long debates or the leader constantly intervening on the project. Think of your class. Groups that may be composed of one major type of learning preference will find strength in including other approaches to enrich the outcome. High diverse groups of learners need to acknowledge that people learn differently and offer options and choice that will appeal to diversity within the group. Preference in how we take in information, relate to others, make decisions, and learn are all essential areas of awareness in relational leadership. Okay, so let's do a little recap before I hand you over to my partner, Olivia. In order to bring out the leader in you, you must first identify your strength and weakness. Once identified, work on your weakness and use your strength to your advantage. Self-esteem and self-confidence is important. How can you be an effective leader if you don't believe in yourself? Your value, belief, ethics, and character is what shape you as an individual and would be questioned. However, just like Jesus, who you are because of others. And lastly, leaders are nothing without their team. It is a good idea to learn each group member's strength, weakness, and learning style. All right, that is the end of my lesson. I'm now going to hand you over to Olivia.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, we can see it. You might want to go to your presentation mode.
What's that?
Might want to go to your presentation mode.
Okay. That is strange.
Nope, that wasn't presentation mode. That was close.
Really?
Yeah, you were no longer seeing your screen.
Okay, let's try this one more time. Can you see it now? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we're seeing it now. When I say presentation mode, you know, slideshow.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Right,
all right.
Good, we're seeing things now.
Great. All right, so I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. I understand it's late and I know we had a lot of information from my team member, a lot of information to absorb. I just want to show of hands that everyone can hear me clearly and that everyone is present and willing to interact with me. Thank you so much. I have no problem with unmuted mics. You could chime in if you have a question. Raise your hand if you want any more details. I'm open to it, right? Okay. So let's touch on this little bit of intro that I have. Right. Okay, great. So according to my colleague earlier, in order to be an effective leader, you need to have values, beliefs, strong values, strong beliefs that you stand for and that are unshakable, whether people actually agree with it or not. The thing about it is these kind of things doesn't just pop into your head overnight. You actually have to craft it. You actually have to live life, experience life, and those will shape your values and your beliefs. It requires self-reflection. It requires you asking yourself questions that you don't really hear other people asking themselves. You really have to dig deep and really have to go inside and ask yourself the hard questions, the questions that we have been told by, I guess, some of us, if we grew up in certain cultures, for example, that, you know, maybe you have heard somebody say, like, I knew growing up, my mom used to tell me, I write too much, you know. I don't know if anybody here has experienced that, where your ideas have been shut down or your way of thinking have been shut down. Anybody can raise their hands to let me know if you grew up in a home where your values and your way of thinking was shunned. Right. So we tend to feel like opinions don't matter, and we shy away from really deep questions that we should ask ourselves, because that's the only way we will build our value system. I have here a quote from Stephen Covey. He wrote this great book that I have yet to finish read, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Anybody familiar with that book? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Okay, yeah, some readers in the class. That's great. I'm a reader. I'm a big reader. One of the habits that he mentioned in this book was seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I think as we do this course together, this leadership course together, that my personal opinion is, do look at it as I look at it as a psychology course instead of just a regular leadership or business course. I look at it as if anything, it's therapeutic to me. And one of the things that a leader needs to be able to do is to understand others. As my colleague rightly said, to be able to put a team together, you need to know the individuals that you're working with. You need to know yourself first before you could even know others. And how do we get to know ourselves? Anybody has? Feel free to jump in, guys. Any ideas how you get to know yourself? How do you find yourself? Anybody? Chelsea? Kelly? Hi. Oh, let me check the chat. Anybody has any ideas of how you find yourself? Hi, Kelly. One of the beginning steps. Feel free to say no if you don't have any idea.
By having a deep discussion with yourself.
Right, correct. By asking yourself questions, literally, and answering the questions.
Reflecting on your relationships with others.
Correct. Yeah, that's another thing as well. But you know what's strange? For some people, introverted people, journaling, big thing for me. Introverted people like myself, I need myself to help myself. Like, and then I guess extroverted people would need others to give them that feedback to be able to decipher themselves. Our thoughts, the deep discussions that we have start from our thoughts. They come from our thoughts. These intrusive internal thoughts that we have every day. That is where we start. And sometimes we have these thoughts and we never stop to question them. We never stop to ask, okay, where you're going with this? What does this mean? Like, we just, oh, okay, I feel this, I think this, and that's it. I'm gonna just go through some thoughts that I guess all of us as students. Raise your hands if you ever had this thought. Here I am again, rushing to finish my paper the night before it's due. Why do I always procrastinate when I have known this was due for months? Show of hands. Anybody had this thought running through their head? I know I did for this project. Yes, Melinda. Chelsea, Zaria. All right, correct. Right. Me too.
No, I don't.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I have a solution to this problem, but I don't want to say it out loud in front of all these people. What if it sounds stupid? Anybody? Anybody relate? Relate? Yeah. Marie Constantine. When you have those thoughts, what do you do? Saria. When you have thoughts like that, what do you do?
Eventually, I just get over that feeling of thinking it's stupid because nobody else has a solution. So it's best I just say the solution that I have.
When you say you get over it, how do you get over it? Like, what's the actual act of getting over it? You just, what does that look like?
But well, for me, it's just thinking that it may not be stupid. Like just say it and let others share their opinion on it.
Right. So you reframe your thinking, kind of like what my colleague was talking about earlier. Marique, do you have anything to say as well? How do you get yourself to change that state if you feel a certain way about something and you want to change that frame of mind that you're in? How do you do? What do you do? What's your process like?
I just take a step,
What's that?
come back.
Okay, I can't hear you.
I just stop what I do for a moment, sit down, think about it, maybe just process it, and then just go back.
Right. Right. All right. So we have a lot of thinkers then. A lot of thinkers. A lot of thinking personality types. This was me today. Why in the world did I pick this topic? And where did my excitement come from? Where did it go? I had a lot of imposter syndrome feelings about this topic. Could I do it? Could I put it out in a way that would be receptive to you guys? Would it be interesting? Would you guys fall asleep on me? I had so much feelings, and then I had to stop myself and realize that is my perfectionism trying to, pull me back. And I had to journal about it as well, because that's one of the things that I do, because I'm that personality type. I think I have to journal. I need to, get it out there, but I don't need anybody else. So I'm not extroverted that anybody else. Anybody else? Anybody have any intrusive internal thoughts that they struggle with daily or that they would like to share with the group, and how they cope with it when it comes to school? Melinda? Hi.
Yeah, when I have certain thoughts about certain schoolwork or even personal thing, I as well journal as well, Olivia. So we have so much in common. That is the only way we can get out and get do the work.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes. So. And I think in your you had a really big problem to overcome, a really big one, which was your what you had to do in your internship, and that was really good of the way you sat down, the way you reach out for help. So that was really commendable. I want to ask the guys in the group, do you all journal? Because I know journaling can be a bit feminine. Do guys journal as well? Because it's hi, any guys in the group? No guys? No journaling, guys? No. Guys, just sit down and work it out in your mind.
Yeah, more or less.
More or less, right. Really, guy, it's a guy thing. Okay, cool. I want to just jump into this very interesting part of the topic for me as well. This really helped me when I first started COSTAT. One of the first things I did, I didn't even know the importance of it. I got one of these Myers-Briggs type indicator test done. And I was fresh from high school. I didn't even know myself that deeply. So of course, when I did the test, I was overwhelmed. I did not, I could hardly answer the question. Anybody in the group ever did this Myers-Briggs type indicator test? And do you have an idea what your personality type could be? Or is? Chelsea.
Yeah, ISFP, turbulent.
Yeah. What is your type? I didn't catch that.
ISFP, turbulent.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. That's great. Anybody else? We'll touch on that. I'll have to remember that. ISFP, you said?
Yeah, I'll type it.
Turbulent. And was that a recent test?
No, I tried it about like 5 or 6 years ago, but then
5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. Did it change?
When I did it over, it stayed the same. So.
ISFP, great. I'll come back to that. Anybody else have anybody else did this test before? Anybody heard of this? Raise your hand if you have done the test, but you just probably can't remember what your personality type is, right? Let me see if the guys did this, because I see the girls, like the girls seem to be more self-aware and more in. Any guys? Unmute your mic. A guy, Marik. What did you get? Marik is a guy? I hope it's a guy. Marik.
I did the test, but I
Hello?
can't remember.
You can't remember, but you did it. Right. Any other guys did it in the group? No?
Yeah, put mine in the chat.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because, I mean, this thing. Aha. ISTJ. That's new. Okay. So let somebody know yourself. ISTJ. Anybody else? I only have 2 people that seem to know, or anybody did it but can't remember what they got. Marik. All right. Okay, great. This is an amazing test. INFJ, Zaria. Is it a guy or a girl? Zaria Laplatte? Yes, ESTP. Oh, sorry. Zaria, I am a INFJ as well. And we are very rare. Very rare. I don't know. Could be because we just different, so it don't have much of us. We're very rare. That's one of the rarest types. When I first came to Custard, I did that test. I don't even remember what I got. I didn't understand the value of it. I wasn't aware the questions was a lot of questions. They were deep, and it really requires you to know yourself. I would recommend the guys do it, because to be honest, guys tend to get a lot of leadership roles, and I think a requirement for a man is to be able to know himself. Because I don't want to go too deep, but at some point in life you have to have a family and you have to be a leader. You don't have to, but if you want to. So I think it's something good to know yourself, right? According to the Myers-Briggs type indicator test, there are 16 personality types, and they fall they'll be in 4 categories: the analyst, the diplomat, the sentinel, and the explorer. The analyst. Feel free to unmute yourself. Anybody in this group familiar with this fall in this category of an analyst? I didn't see any INTJs. Did I get any INTJs? Do we have any analysts in this group? In this class? No analysts. So analysts they tend to be rational and intellectual people, right? We have the architect, They are imaginative and strategic thinkers. They have a plan for everything. The logicians, they are innovative inventors. We have the commanders, they are bold, imaginative, strong-willed leaders. And the debaters, smart, curious thinkers who cannot resist an intellectual challenge. Here's a challenge for you guys. Can you guess the type of analyst that we have here? Who do you guys think Steve Jobs is based on this? Anybody?
The logician?
Yes, correct. He's a logician. Elon Musk. Anybody else? Chelsea?
Pardon me?
Chelsea, did you hear my question? Do you
No, I
think,
didn't.
okay, sorry. Am I breaking up or something?
No, it's my Wi-Fi. What did you say?
Oh, right. I was asking if you could tell me what Steve Jobs would fall, not Steve Jobs. Let's try Elon Musk. What would he fall under in terms of an analyst? Because I have here the types. Can you see the screen?
I feel like he would fall under ENTJ, assertive, if anything, or potentially INTJ.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's an architect. He's imaginative and he's a strategic thinker.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go down this way. We have the diplomats. So in this class, we have Zaria. Zaria? Hello?
Hi, Henry.
Hi. You told me you're an INFJ, right?
Yeah.
So then you would be this, an advocate. Quiet and mystical, yet very inspiring and a tireless idealist. Do you think that sounds like you?
Yes.
Great. And then we have anybody else is an INFP? No INFPs in this class, no mediators. So here is an example of diplomats. So Nelson Mandela, Barack Obama, we spoke about him earlier. He's a leader and he's actually a diplomat. He is what? A protagonist. Those people are charismatic and they are inspiring leaders, able to mesmerize their listeners. That sound like Obama to you guys? Raise your hands if you feel like that sound like Obama or not. Yes. Ooh, campaigner. I'm not seeing your message, Solange. Yeah, enthusiastic, creative, and sociable, free spirit who could always find a reason to smile. Solange, do you like being around people? Do people drain you?
Yeah, I do. I like to plan events and stuff, so yeah.
Oh my goodness. I get nervous just hearing you say that because I am an introvert. I like my space.
I was at one point and then I was like, just started happened. It just happened.
And you know what? That brings me to my next point, or my question actually. Do you guys think, well, apparently you can, but do you guys believe that a person can truly change their personality style? Raise your hands if you think a person could really with effort completely go from an INFJ to an ENFJ or something.
It depends. I feel it depends. It all depends on something that impact them to change their personality. People change their personality all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
But is it true? But is it true change? Is it true change?
I don't think that that your MBTI could change. However, your attachment style can, because that changes over time. But your general personality, I think this focuses on the broad, like your general personality in itself. Because you could be an ISFP or ENFP and still differ from other INFPs or other ENTPs, like, you know what I mean? So it really depends more on attachment style, which people confuses with MBTI types. So,
do you think you're born with your personality type then?
no, it develops over time until it becomes your personality.
Right. And that's another thing that we want to look at. Factors that would determine our personality type. Family, culture, race. If we could be influenced by our parents to think a certain way, to be a certain way. For example, me. I remember when I was growing up, I was a very extroverted child. I was friendly and I needed to hear myself talking all the time. And I'll be honest, my parents kind of kill that. They kill it. You know, tweak it, always be like, talk too much. And after a while, I just, you know, changed. So if your parents have this strong impact on you to change your whole personality type, right? Do you think, or does anyone think that with focus and determination that you could take back that narrative and reframe your whole wiring and be something completely new? Or you think that after a certain age you can't interfere with it, that is what you are, that is what you are? Raise your hands. Raise your hands if you think it's too late. After a certain age, it's too late to change. Oh, Melinda, why you think that?
Certain age you're talking about when older people were setting their ways kind of way.
Yeah. You think right? That is it? Yeah.
That's what I think. After talking about the senior citizens were stuck in the way because of the culture and belief they had growing up and their parents said this had happened. That is what I'm talking about. But we, right? The generation, more easier for us to change certain things about ourselves and change certain beliefs.
Right. So you think we are a generation of people who open to change? We're more open to change. And these people, the older generation, they are so against the word change that even if it's for positive, they're just not into it.
Exactly. Some of them just set in their ways.
That is true. I tend to want to believe that. Some people. Some. Because I think with knowledge, I think they didn't have the knowledge that we have now. They had such limited knowledge that they just did what they knew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'll tell you this about my life. My mom, I introduced her to YouTube like a couple years ago, right? 2-3 years ago. And she is older. And it amazes me the way she thinks now. I never thought that she would think the way she thinks now. The things she would tell me, she'll say things like, think positive. Where your focus is where your energy goes. That's what you'll attract. And these kind of high spiritual kind of mindset vibes. And I'm like, you go girl, like, wow, like I am stunned. And I just wanna tie this back into the topic which is leadership. And all this goes to say, I think a leader is supposed to be flexible to some extent. Flexible to know what parts of him he needs to tweak and change to be able to flow with the group or to keep the group on stream. I think the leader has to be the most flexible person. That's my opinion. To fill in the gaps where he's needed. And that's why I think to be able to be that, you need to know what you are and know the types of people that are around you and what they could be and how they could think and their strengths and their weaknesses, because that is something that comes in even in all of these people that we see here. The diplomats, the sentinels, they all have strengths and they all have weaknesses, like Melinda was talking about. Because a sentinel, somebody who's practical and fact-minded, might be very hard to sway. And sometimes you need a little bit of sway in life. Everybody agreed? These are some of the examples of sentinels that I have. Explorers. I saw we have a few ENF somethings in this class. ESTPs. Who's the ESTP in this class? They are entrepreneurs. They are smart. Yeah.
Me. That's me.
Yeah. Smart, energetic, very perceptive people who truly enjoy living on the edge. An example of that, Eddie Murphy. Class discussions. I have a question. Why do you think it is important to understand yourself, guys? Like, why do you really think it? Why do you think it is important to understand yourself? Melinda? Hello?
I believe it's important to understand yourself. So when you make certain decision, you're gonna understand the reason for the decision you make.
That's true. And understanding, starting to learn yourself puts you on that journey of also learning others. Because despite what we think, others affect us greatly. Anybody agree with that? That others affect us? Because we don't live here by ourselves. We are social creatures. And other people affect our way of life and our way of thinking. So if we don't want to be... Hello? Yes?
Yeah, it depends on like how much of others' opinions you're willing to take and not let that cloud your own judgment of yourself, you know, because you spend the most time with you.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, and that is the thing, and that's a good thing. But there are personality types like myself, who are very INFJs. We feel a lot. We feel so much that it affects us. And maybe that's something I need to tweak. I need to get out this F and put something else there.
What is your MBTI?
INFJ.
Oh, okay.
We feel a lot and we judge a lot. I'm a Virgo too, so that is another one. Or that doesn't count, but it doesn't help. So we feel a lot of what people going through stuff, we feel it. And sometimes it affects us negatively as well. So we answer the question, do you think it's possible to change your personality? Another one, can people ever truly change? Raise your hands if you think that you could really, truly, deeply change your core. Yes. Melinda, Alyssa, I believe you can. All right. So guys, let's just summarize everything. This chapter challenges you to think of the things about yourself that shape your personal identity and what fuels your motivations. It explores the role of self-awareness in leadership, including aspects of self-concept and self-esteem. It also explores how you form your values and role of values in developing character. Your personality preference for how you approach decisions and how you learn also are addressed. Along with studying leadership, you must understand yourself. It starts with you. If you cannot manage yourself, don't expect to manage anybody effectively. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope this wasn't too painful. And that's the end of my presentation here.
All right, if there are no questions, I'll pause the recording.